As an interior, Salish, intelligent man, I no longer have my elders to guide me from my nation. They have fallen to age, wars, alcohol, and murder. So I now speak with those who I can for guidance. I'm honored to have two guests with me today in honoring women. Thank you for the opportunity of having me talk to you today. Tell me about who you are. Yeah, just introduce yourself.
Hi, Stephen. It's good to see you. I'd like to thank you for inviting me today to this panel. My name is Kat Norris. My Indian name is Zukamalwat, and I'm very Coast Salish on my mom and my dad's side, but also on my dad's side we have Nez Pearson, Filipino Hawaiian. I am a grandmother to two granddaughters, Serenity and Emma, and I have two sons, Sky and Anthony. I was born on one of the Gulf Islands and lived for a time on Vancouver Island. And when I was quite young, we moved to Vancouver for 2 years, then we moved to Los Angeles, and we came back here when I was 19. I got involved with the American Indian movement, and that was kind of like the jump into my activism. But a big part of my learning has come from all of my experiences of residential school and intergenerational issues. And it's a big part of why I'm sitting here today, is because I've gone through a lot of healing, a lot of self-work, and it's all of the things that have happened to me are my drive to do what I do today.
Thank you. And yourself?
Yeah, thank you for having me here today, Stephen. My name is Kombii, Nanjalah. I was born in Africa, and in Africa we have tribes and clans, and my clan name is Namaeso. I started this journey when I was a young girl, and I looked at life from my own experience, and that is what I said. If I went through such like a life, then I have to know that out there are people who are facing the same life, and it made me strong to be who I am today. I've been able to do a lot of things on this world, and I think God had a purpose for me to do that. I'm so honored today to talk about what happens to us as women, what happens to us as that child girl who is born as a girl here. And when I look back in Africa where we don't have a say, it's always you have to respect the man. You are nothing. You have to, they make arrangement, marriage, you have to go. They talk for you. They make you a property. So that has taught me. And also when I look at problems that people face in the community, this is when I say, who does these decisions? Who makes these decisions? And this is when, like 2014, I went running for school board because of the immigrant kids and those kids with disability. So who makes the decision to cut their funding? So that is the reason why I am here today, and thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. What does honoring women in the downtown east side mean? Women must start by honoring themselves before they can honor others. Can I get your response, Kat?
I think to me, honoring women is to listen to what they're saying. But being a First Nations Indigenous woman, you know, I share a lot of the same stories that the women in the downtown east side do. I look at them as human beings. You know, we're all human beings, we're all equal, and that's how I view the women. It's a big part of why I fully support and the actions that they take. Like, for example, the Missing and Women's March. I fully participate in that to show my support. And I do things like because I believe that you can't just say you support or like on Facebook. It's your actions and what you do, but it's also who you are as a human being. I also show my respect to the women of the downtown east side by respecting myself. You know, it's something that I had to learn how to do, because, you know, I think you said it yourself, you can't, you know, love others unless you learn to love yourself. And that's something that I've worked hard to do, because at the residential school level, you're not taught to love yourself. You're only told what you can't to do. You know, so standing up and using my voice on behalf of the women and also the men, our people in general, and now it's grown to all nations, all indigenous people, that I show my support to when I can.
Thank you.
Yeah, to me, honoring women, it means embracing diversity. And the first step is to recognize our diversity and inclusion, and how this can bring us together to learn more about each other's interests and past experiences that we all bring together. I commend women who stand strong despite different hardships they face on a daily basis. As a mother, or as mothers, we must open doors and let it remain open for others to pass through. Unless all of us are free, none of us will be free. Until all of us have made it, none of us will make it.
Thank you. Who do each of you honor, and what do you carry forward from those who have gone before you?
I honor, you know, I work to honor all people, regardless of race, regardless of gender, you know, and even regardless of lifestyle, because from where I come from, I understand their story. I understand the story of our people, indigenous people, men and women, and youth that are incarcerated. You know, we have to go back in time and look at what their stories are, not look at them as convicts or inmates. What is their story? And that's something that's happening today, where they're hiring indigenous people, men and women, to act as counselors, and they're bringing the sweats into, you know, into these places. And I think the person that, if I were to pick one person, I would honor my mom, Sally, because my mother is a survivor, and she is the one who instilled in us strength and respect.
Thank you.
Yeah, for me, honoring women is very important, that I recognize and commend, honor them for the fight of equality to all the people. And to me, I'll honor my mom, who went through all that she went through to raise 8 kids without a husband when my father died. When I was 7 and I was the firstborn. And she gave me a lot of courage. She prayed. She was that warrior. And she has made me who I am today, not forgetting the women that we see on the streets of Vancouver, who struggle with their kids, who struggle with their illnesses, mental health, disability, all. I honor them. I really appreciate.
The women and families who continue to relive and are re-triggered about their lost loved ones, how do you gauge if your efforts are working today?
How do I gauge? As survivors, we instinctively can see, you know, how people are feeling, but also it's when they come to me, you know, with gratitude, and they let me know, or I watch them throughout their lives, especially the young people, when they're, you know, succeeding and doing things and becoming activists. That's when I gauge success.
For me, I look at what other women have done. Like, for example, few small things that people do. Like, for example, when I look at Rosemary Brown, she was a politician, but in 1970, that is when she forced the provincial government to examine and revise existing policies on regulation and identified sexist or racist. So from how we learned something, and also it has taken that long from 1970 to 2000 is when we see like we had to be recognized to vote, and also to have like the first woman to head the court. So those are the things that keep on giving us courage and making us strong.
In one word, very quickly, how can I show my support? What do you need? How can we move forward together?
I would say by listening, by being there, by physically showing your support.
Yes, same to me. As I come out for you and you are there for me, that is all I want, listening to me.
Thank you. I want to walk alongside you and respect you in honoring women. I want to be a part of the solution and not the problem. Each of you are the heartbeat of our nation. Without each of you, nothing else matters. Thank you for each of you for all you do for our communities.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen.